Good morning, everybody. It is Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's video, we got a lot into more extreme severe weather threat to talk about compared to what we've been seeing yesterday. And so this is definitely going to be a little bit more in the way of severe weather. So we're definitely going to have to watch these severe weather threats very closely, and we will even be going over your flash flood threats, which seem to also be extreme too. So first of all, as you guys can see for day one, we do have a slight risk for flash flooding. The reason why I said we will see more in the way of severe weather is because we're seeing a lot more in the way of a bigger threat, or we're seeing a bigger threat for severe weather compared to yesterday. Yesterday we just had a marginal risk, but now today we have a slight risk, so this does seem to be a little bit more concerning, especially for this area right here in places like New Orleans, Lake Charles, heading into Baton Rouge, and then back to parts of extreme southern Mississippi. Not this part right here. This part is included in a marginal risk, but this part up here. So definitely something to really keep an eye on today. Some people could be going live for this, so make sure to keep that in mind. And if you even have any travel plans out here, I would definitely watch extremely closely for a few severe thunderstorms, if why not even a few brief tornadoes, because we actually do have a good tornado threat today. And yeah, that's a 5% chance for tornadoes, so definitely talking a little bit more in the way of tornadoes too as well. So not only just we have a slight risk for severe storms, but also a slight risk for tornadoes. So definitely looking a pretty big area for at least a few tornadoes to occur, and no strong tornadoes or upgrade to an enhanced risk is expected, but we're still going to have to watch this area closely. Your wind threat is a 5% chance, it looks like, and then your hail threat is 0, it looks like. So it sounds like the main threat might just be tornadoes along with some large hail. So it is a little bit interesting to see just a wind threat and not even any other threat. And actually what? Okay, we actually do have a threat for wind, guys. I'm not sure how that happened, but yes, there we go. Now we do have a threat for damaging winds across the Cyprus. I do apologize for that. I don't even know if it was showing up that moment, and Prival Weather might have just updated the last second, and that's probably what it is. But now we do have a threat for damaging winds, so definitely something that we really need to watch closely now. But now for day 2, okay, we're going to look at day 2 now. And now you guys see for day 2, just a hail threat, damaging wind threat, and it just stays marginal. But look at day 4, guys. We actually have another threat for severe weather on day 4. This will be from Saturday into Sunday, and as you guys can see, this is across places like Atlanta, Georgia, heading towards Birmingham, and then back down into maybe a little bit of the Panhandle, Florida, but definitely not likely to be included in the Panhandle, Florida. But we're definitely going to have to watch very closely for a few severe thunderstorms, so definitely keep that in mind if you do live in these areas. And if you have any weekend travel plans, this is also something to be aware about. Now for excessive rainfall outlook, as you guys can see, the moderate risk does not include places like Tuscaloosa anymore, even though it did the last couple of days. It's not included in that area anymore. Now it just includes Jackson, Alexandria, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, let's zoom in some more, Morgan City is included in this. We even got, I think we got, almost Hattiesburg, actually. So definitely some pretty big areas included in this moderate risk for flash flooding. Even New Orleans will also be one of those areas to watch extremely closely too as well. Now, if we go over this marginal risk now, like we were talking in the other videos, it does head into all southern Indiana, but it doesn't anymore. Now it just heads into places like West Virginia, into Ohio, maybe a little bit of southern Indiana, but definitely doesn't include Evansville anymore. So definitely a little bit concerning. I was kind of surprised they did change it because I was expecting a threat for flash flooding across portions of Indiana, but I guess not. We're gonna have to still watch very closely though, and we'll see about that. But now for day 2, as you guys can see, that threat for flash flooding does die down, but we still have a big threat for flash flooding across much of these states, and so that includes places like Alabama, pretty much including all of Alabama, heading into Georgia, Louisiana, even up there towards Tennessee and North Carolina. So those will be the areas to watch very closely as we do head into Thursday. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind too. And now, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the days, and as you guys can see for day 3, another day with a threat for flash flooding. On day 4 that dies down, and then on day 5 it dies down a lot, and we just have this across places like just west of Seattle pretty much. So definitely gets less concerning as we keep heading farther out, but we'll see if more threats for flash flooding get issued. Now if we look at your guys' temperature outlook, as you guys can see for the 6 to 10 day outlook, pretty big area that will likely see above average temperatures, and that includes places like the upper Midwest, heading down into the plains and much of the mountains region. So we're definitely going to have to watch those areas very closely. And then for the 8 to 14 day outlook on your temperatures, this area does head down into the Ohio Valley, which definitely brings a much more populated area and above average temperatures. But even up here towards Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Michigan, those areas are likely seeing much above average. So that will definitely be another concern that we're going to need to watch very closely. And then for the 6 to 10 day outlook, as you guys can see, pretty big area of at least well below average precipitation is what we do expect. So definitely still looking to be pretty quiet across this area. So we're definitely going to have to still watch some of these areas very closely, and drought development is a possibility, especially because we saw 2 rounds of well below average precipitation issued by the Climate Prediction Center, and I'm even including the last one. So this one and even the last one I'm including, that's 2 chances for well below average precipitation. And if you're wondering what the chance is, 60 to 70, so that's a little bit extreme right there. So we're going to have to still watch. Now for the 8 to 14 day outlook, as you guys can see, are near normal for some of these areas that have already dealt with well below average precipitation, but even back out here out west, we're definitely going to have to watch for some pretty well above average precipitation. So definitely something to be aware about if you do live in the western United States. Now if we take a look at your guys' radar now, okay, we're going to head all the way back, and as you guys can see, we start out with some rain and storms across the deep south, and maybe even another round coming up towards the Great Lakes region. And then as that finally heads out, we see another round of rain that might be a little bit more extreme in some areas like Kentucky and southern Indiana. But then as that finally heads out, we see another maybe small area of at least some showers and maybe even some brief snowfall in some areas, but super light though. And then this system may bring some snowfall, and it's coming up there from Canada and heading down into New England. And as that finally heads out, we see another system move through that's kind of a little bit uncertain by this point because we're heading all the way out. But we didn't see much in the way of storms move across the Ohio Valley, at least not very much. So I mean, it's definitely looking to be dry for sure, guys. So definitely make sure you have your drought plan in place, because I think we're gonna see at least some upgrades to at least a moderate drought in some areas. As of right now, we're abnormally dry, but we'll see if we get downgraded to a 0 drought for places like the Ohio Valley and even places over here in the Midwest. So we'll have to see if we do get upgraded to a moderate drought in much of the eastern United States, or even upgrade to a severe drought in much of the eastern United States. state. So I mean, we're definitely talking well below average precipitation. Let me actually go ahead and show you guys that again. As you see, the entire eastern United States is included in below average precipitation. So like I said, drought development, it's definitely possible for sure. Now for your precipitation, as you guys can see, pretty big area of at least 1 to as much as 5 inches of rainfall across these areas right here. This area right here seems to be seeing a little bit more in the way of rainfall, and this will be our biggest threat for flash flooding right here. And then even up here towards Illinois, let's say Indiana and Missouri, this area will also be another area to watch very closely. So definitely looking a little bit concerning for sure, especially farther north, but still super concerning farther down to the south too as well. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. And look at that, almost 3 inches of rainfall across Illinois. So we're definitely gonna have to watch those areas closely. Now for your total snowfall, you guys can see much of the Rocky Mountains seeing some pretty good snowfall there. And I'm sorry about that, I didn't mean to do that, but lots of mountains seeing some snowfall, while much of the New England and Mid-Atlantic area is seeing at least some snowfall, not like as bad as we have been seeing, but still something to really keep an eye on. Now, if we look at your guys' temperatures, as you guys can see, as we continue to take this forward, I have to move this a little bit, but as we continue to take this forward, we'll start to see a warm up in our temperatures today and tomorrow, bringing 50s and 60s to parts of the deep south, maybe even some 50s up here towards the Ohio Valley. And then as we continue to take this forward, we'll see that warm front move out. We'll see maybe a little bit of cold air move in, and then we'll start to see another round of warmer air kind of start to move through, which with maybe some colder air moving through too as well. So that could definitely maybe cause a little bit of thunderstorms right there. And then as we continue to take this forward, we might have to watch for another one of those extreme Arctic blasts, and Canada's definitely extremely cold, by the way. So definitely looking quite active for sure, especially with the temperatures, because those warm-ups definitely cause more in the way of storms to fire up. But thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. I'll do a February forecast most likely this weekend, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But thank you guys very much for watching, and I will do one tomorrow.